Hey guys, it's Kevin again, and in this video I'm going to review the new episode of Wendall and Vinnie there last night. Rule breakers and date makers. Now the Oscars are not on yet, but until they're on, I will be reviewing this. Loved the episode. It was absolutely hysterical. And this was just a great episode. And this could possibly end up, this is definitely the best show on Nickelodeon right now. Like, if you're not watching Wendell and Vinnie, if you're watching Nickelodeon, this is the show you should be watching on Nickelodeon. As I said last week, this is the type of shows Nickelodeon should do. They should just leave all the shows to Nick at Night because they know how to make things funny. Plus, they can get away with things like they can say words like hell, and they can have sexual. There were some sexual references in this episode, which were kind of funny, but the episode was basically about Vinnie liked this new Wendell's principal at Wendell's middle school, and Taryn basically, I love the Taryn part where Taryn basically said how anytime someone likes Vinnie, they're either psycho or a nut job. And I found that part to be very funny. And she basically says how the principal's a nut job. But Vinnie decides that the best way to get close to this guidance counselor is to make Wendell get in trouble. Because Wendell had been in the principal's office for looking at a dirty magazine, basically. And it was his idea for him to do this because he wanted to get closer to the principal. So Wendell ends up getting detention for this, which I found to be very funny, and Vinnie basically pretends that Wendell is a troublemaker. And, of course, the principal's buying all this, and the principal's, like, really seductive. And even after she finds out that Vinnie faked everything, she still wants to go out with him, and, but at the same time, so I found this to be very funny, and I really like this. This part of the episode was very funny. I thought the principal was very funny, and who do you want Vinnie with? Do you want him with this principal, or do you want him with Taryn? I think Taryn's a better girl for Vinnie because she knows Vinnie well, and I like Taryn. I think Taryn's very funny. At the same time, though, we have Wendell in detention. Hilarious. For me, Wendell stole the show in this episode. I thought he was absolutely hysterical in this episode. He was funny last week, but he was hysterical this week. I think Wendell stole the show. Basically what happens is Wendell gets detention and he's like freaking out and everything. And Wilma is basically like, it's time. And she's saying like all dramatic, and he's pretending like it's some sort of prison. And it turns out, though, that the detention kids, the one girl, ends up liking Wendell. And she basically says, okay, I'm not really going to hit you. I'm not going to pound on you because there was this girl who was bullying him. And we find out she actually likes him. And she's just trying to blend in with all the other kids. And so Wendell ends up tutoring all of the kids. And he ends up being the teacher of the detention class. And he ends up forming a gang, and I found this to be very funny because Vinnie's like, Wendell, I've been here to say, what the hell did you do? I found that to be very funny. I thought that was very funny right there, and this was my favorite plot. I think it was really funny how this all worked out, especially because these were kids who are supposed to be like in detention, and they were all working very productively, and it was very funny. And in the end, you see that hopefully we'll see these friends, because you actually see in the end of the episode Wendell hanging out with this girl. Don't know if we're going to see this girl again. I hope we do, because it seems like Wendell got himself a nice group of friends. And now let's get to the Wilma subplot. This was really funny. Basically, Wilma was at this art show. Everyone was in the art show in the beginning of the episode, but Wilma was at the art show. And she saw, she bumped into this guy who ends up being the teacher of the detention class. And it ends up being a whole thing because it ends up she bumped into him basically, and she tackled him and everything. And she wants to go out with him, and he doesn't. And in the end, she realizes that And she's like, okay, I'm just gonna leave here. I need better guys than you. And she just ends up staying there. And she says, you know, I'm not doing anything yet. And I thought that was very funny. And the episode basically ends. I love the way the episode ended. It ended with Taryn and Vinnie playing this board game, basically, of like a fun game, and it was a really fun, overall, really great episode. I really love this episode of Wendall and Vinnie. Last week's was really funny, but this episode was even funnier than last week's. I loved every minute of it. And next week seems like Wilma's going to get herself in trouble, and her lawyer is going to be Wendall, and Vinnie's going to be the defendant. And I love the part where Vinnie's like, I have a PhD in awesomeness or something like that. And I found this to be a very funny episode, 10 out of 10. Love this episode. Let me know what you guys thought of this new episode of Wendall and Vinnie. And hope you guys enjoyed this video. I'll see you guys in the next video, which will be my Oscars recap. Bye!